Hello, and welcome to Phone Mods. Today we're going to talk about attachments. There are three main types of attachments: stocks, barrel attachments, and anything really, that connects to an end-strike rail. For example, a scope or a handle. First, let's talk about muzzle attachments. Muzzle attachments are attachments that fit on the top of the gun if it has one of these kinds of attachments. One of the kind is the Fortnite SBL barrel, which come with it's a suppressor technically, though it doesn't work as a suppressor, and this is just added to make the blaster look cool, and I think it does that job quite good. Now, this color scheme doesn't really match, but that's another thing. Now moving on to the modulus co-ops muzzle, and this is a shorter muzzle, which is white and orange, which makes it fit in with most blasters, and personally I think this is one of the coolest, as it's really short and just looks cool, which is the main purpose of a muzzle attachment. Now, moving over to the Modulus ES10 attachment. This actually has some practicality, as it is a attachment which is pretty large, but this has a muzzle attachment on it, so you can put another thing on it again and make it super long.
Like really long.
The only thing about this configuration is that barrels make blasters shoot worse because it's a longer space which they have to touch. For example, in firearms, a longer barrel builds up pressure which make it shoot harder, but in Nerf it's the opposite, as the dart touches the barrel and makes it go slower. Back to the modulus. This has two end strike rails, which is really handy too, so you can put things there if you want. Moving on, let's talk about stock attachments. Stock attachments is the attachment you put on back here on the cube area. These are things which you click on like this to make the blaster more stable, which hold like this, and it's often used to like aim, so you can have a more stable grip. Now, it doesn't really help aiming with Nerf blasters, as they're usually, in stock form at least, very inaccurate. The modulus one is very unstable and wobbly, although this can hold one magazine in the back, which is really practical. Now, looking at this, it works well with a 6-pounder, as it's like flat here, so when you hold it against here, it doesn't go out or anything and add extra bulk. But if you switch to something like a 12-pounder, which is a more usual magazine to use, it will add much extra bulk and you can go with your arms into it. Moving on to the next stock, we have the Stockade stock, which comes with the Stockade, of course, the name. And this is a really comfortable stock, which is really stable. Because of this has a curve here instead of like flat as the modulus one. Also, what another thing the Stockade is great at is that you can have darts up in here to hold. You can hold 10 extra, 5 on each side. Next up, we have front grip attachments. These are attachments such as this one, which fit onto an end strike rail. These are grips which you can hold to make the blaster more stable for you, and they are often found close to the end of the blaster to make a space between the trigger handle and the front handle to have more stability. There are different types of foregrips, such as this one, which is a hard one, and foldable ones, like this one, which you can both use like this, and it's more compact profile, and you can hold like this, or you can press a button and flip up and have it like a normal style grip. The final attachment we want to talk about are sights. Sights are things you can place on an end strike rail, often above the trigger. Like, I just wanna get this on like this. These look really cool, and you can technically aim with them. However, the Nerf sights are tilted like pretty far above the barrel, which makes them really inaccurate, even if you would have an accurate. And adding to that, Nerf darts are really inaccurate, so it doesn't really help having a sight. So it's just really to look cool. There are sights like this one, which has a hole right through it, and there are electrical sights like this one. So when choosing a sight, it's more about which one you think is cool than which one you think aims more, because they are not going to help you aim at all. To summarize, which attachments do we think are most useful? First of all, a stable grip. This can really help you when aiming because you have a more stable blaster to hold onto. Secondly, a nice stock. This will also help you like shoulder it and potentially keep more darts if that stock is meant for doing it, as many Nerf stocks are. This is a great combo. Now, the less practical things are such as a barrel, as it decreases the performance. Now, if you just want it to look cool and not really for performing, that's okay. And the second thing, and maybe the worst thing, is sights. Sights, such as this one, are only there to make it look cooler, and it makes your aiming so much worse with it. And it adds so much bulk that if you don't think it looks cool, it's really pointless. I hope you learned something about which attachments you think is best and can make up your own mind about what to buy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye.